Very hard. Okay, next up is?
Ken Mura from originally from Tokyo. I'm in San Francisco.
Okay, great. Welcome, Ken. 2 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1.
Okay. My name is Ken Mura. I'm the co-founder of Dozen. It's my co-founder Julian. And our product is, we are reinventing photo sharing in the living room for families. Our product is called the Hale Orb. Hale means home in Hawaiian. It's a popular hardware product in Silicon Valley. So here's a video. So it glows. That's a notification. And it's tied to a dongle on the TV. So you see these are photo streams that's shared by my family. So my sister's Instagram, my Facebook, my dad's direct upload. You basically rotate and push. This is a device right now I'm holding right now. And we have cute gestures like shake to like a photo. So it's a very intuitive type of device. So in a nutshell, it's a hardware, software, services integrated product that has an appliance-like feel, not a computer. We're trying to create, for a better lack of words, Snapchat, Instagram for the living room for families. What's powering it is what we're calling the Orb OS. It's basically a large screen optimized GUI, left, right, select, some gestures and voice. And we can integrate different home services, like you can talk to it and call up the security camera footage, etc. We are heading for the big smart home connected space eventually with our OS UI for the home play, but we're starting narrow with more of the family communication market. And distribution strategy, instead of going B2C right now, we're talking to B2B2C play. TEPCO is the biggest energy service and home services company in Japan. They invested in us. And the idea is to create services together on the Hale Orb so we can deliver to their 20 million households. So far we've delivered 300 devices to a user getting feedback. We're fine-tuning the service and the cost for a better product market fit. The real launch is next year. We have a 1.0. We got the 2018 CES Innovation Award, soft metric, but yes, great. We've raised some money, convertible notes. Mistletoe, led by Son Taizo, is a bigger investor. He's the younger brother of Son Masayoshi of SoftBank. Great guy. We're starting our seed round, preferred round. And we're Dozen. We're trying to get an orb in every home. Thank you.
Okay, well done. Let's swap out for the Hale. And tell me your name, Ken?
Ken, yeah.
Ken. Super creative. Never seen anything like it. Pro tip, when you're being judged by somebody, you hand them the device so they can actually feel it.
There you go.
Just a pro tip. And what I like about it is it feels like a thermal detonator from...
I've gotten that a lot.
From Return of the Jedi?
Yes.
Ota, yata. Okay. Solo, you bring to me now.
Yeah.
And you basically made it as such, right? You're a Star Wars fan?
Yes, that's right.
So you literally made the thermal detonator, and you're giving it to kids. Okay. I'm sure Mom's very proud. And he says, "Oh, mighty Jabba, you will bring him Han Solo now." Yeah. Because he's holding a thermal detonator. It's all coming back to me, my childhood.
Yeah. Great
that
line.
was my C-3PO. Did you notice that part? And then Silicious Crumb goes, ah! Runs under it. But it has a great feel. I like the glow. And you know what? People tend to look at these things and they're dismissive. And they're like, oh, nonsense. And then like, all of a sudden you see the Sphero, speaking of Star Wars, that company was like 5 years in the making. And then all of a sudden they start selling tens of millions of those Spheros. Because it just literally, I had the founder who's doing another general interest robot now. He just got obsessed with robots for kids, and he just kept pulling the string, and then all of a sudden, he didn't quit. And then Iger saw it at the Techstars Disney incubator and said, hey, can you come to a meeting? And J.J. Abrams was at the meeting. And they showed them BB-8, after they signed their lives away, and said, can you put a cap on it? And they said, yeah, give us 24 hours. They came back, they put the cap on the magnet, and that's how BB-8 was born. So startups can like go through this crazy journey for years. How long have you been working on this one?
18 months.
18 months. Yeah. It's got a great feel to it. It's completely bizarre, and it's unique. And so I don't like to prejudge stuff. I like to see what happens when people use it. The one thing I will say is I always like to tell you what I think the dismissive comments will be from investors who, once you figure it out, will not be dismissive anymore. And they'll say, like, oh, I always knew this would work. Is people don't want to sit around a TV anymore. Everybody's looking at their iPad and phone. So you built a device to control the big TV, and some VCs will think, or investors will think, oh, again, a new restaurant, wow, great, you put a Starbucks and a Phil's on the deck of the Titanic. Awesome. It's going to be great coffee for 4 hours before we all drowned in the icy water. So how would you deflect that answer if I was like Mr. Jerk VC and I was like, yeah, but nobody uses televisions anymore, so like you're being a controller for something that doesn't exist. It's like, might as well control a fax machine.
Right. So the idea is that personal screens aren't going away, but it's also dividing people. So the idea is to have a common place that you can physically share and look at together. And that's sort of coming back to screen time. Trying to reduce screen time. Everyone's all for that. So the idea is to kind of bring them back together, look at something together. So
got it.
Yeah.
Do you have like 20 ideas like this? Or is this
I've
the
got
one
10.
true idea? You got 10.
No, but I've been working on that nonstop for the last 18 months. So that's what we're focused on.
So as an inventor who has clever ideas, I would refer you to Jamie Siminoff from Ring. And I passed on investing in Ring because he was working on 3 projects and the Doorbot wasn't working. And so he's like, yeah, I'm not going to go do the Doorbot. I'm doing this thing. And he pulls out a big cube, and it's got cables hanging out of it. It looks terrible. It's like 3D printed, no offense. It's like a disaster.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, you go to a club, and then you put this on the table, and then everybody can plug their phone in. And I'm like, you built a portable battery for people in the club to top off their phones. He's like, yeah. I'm like, I have one of those in my bag. He's like, yeah, but it doesn't look like this. It doesn't have 8 cables. Everybody can go around it and create a community and, sounded like you. So I would keep pulling the string because you obviously have an idea about interfaces and an opinion, and that's unique in the world. So everybody like, oh, this is dumb. Oh, I got to learn a new interface. But sometimes the people who come up with new interfaces create the mouse, or VR goggles or the smartphone or, something incredibly important in the history of technology and humanity. So keep pulling the string and see where it leads you. And don't be married to just one iteration. You found something that's fun. So there's a sense of fun here. And is it efficient? Is it more efficient than using this?
If we built a UI optimized for it, so for the applications we're building, it's efficient and fun and fast. But you can't do Excel on it, right?
I could see myself moving around cells and moving over columns. Yeah. I wouldn't be too sure. Yeah. The world needs more interfaces, and it's one of the other challenging things you'll have is whenever you create a new interface, you have to do a massive education to people. So the first people with apps, God bless you, the first people with apps in the App Store just had this huge learning curve, or social networks where they had to explain to people what it meant to add somebody or follow somebody, or what the feed was or liking was. Am I liking this, or am I liking the person, or if somebody died, do I like it or not? It was all this stuff we had to get used to as a society, which is a long way of saying it's interesting and don't be married to one device. I think a company that experimented with a lot of different versions of this to see where the magic is, because William Gibson said the street finds its own use for technology. If this was available as an interface that was programmable, I wouldn't be too sure that some maniac doesn't figure out a Google Sheets Excel use for it.
Right. You can do it with voice, right? The idea is that voice combined with a simple left-right select, motion could do a lot.
Yeah, and you can keep iterating on this. There's something nice about holding it. Here, catch it. Just fucking with you. I'm not gonna throw the device at you. I think who knows if this is even built. That may be 3D printed. All right, let's give him a big round of applause. Well done.
Thank you.